All right, so when we left off, we saw that basically our geometry sucks. Okay, you can see the wireframe is way too dense. It doesn't really work very well. All right, now we can manually retopologize this. That, quite honestly, would actually be, I would say, more the preferred method. However, it's time consuming and it'd be a whole nother thing. And I wouldn't even do it in here. I don't really like the retopology tools in here, but this does have an auto retopology that works reasonably well. So we're gonna use that instead. So I'm gonna hit Shift F, or again, you can just click this button here. I'm gonna clear out the masks too, just because we don't need those. So Control, click and drag. What I want to do basically is just retopologize this. So there's a button. So if you go not even underneath here, you want to go underneath geometry, which deals with the geometry of the current subtool you're in. You'll notice we don't have DynaMesh on. I'm gonna turn that one off. There's ZRemesher. Okay, so it's underneath geometry, and then you'll see ZRemesher. Don't click on it yet. So what it's going to do is it's going to look at the topology and it's going to try and ZRemesher. I'm going to do it just so you see. Right now it says 5. And what it's going to do is it's going to calculate the model and it's going to recreate it. So you'll see in a second. So it could take a long time, could take not that long a time. So you see now, I'm going to hit Shift F so you can see it. It will actually kind of try and follow the contour, and it does a really good job. Now, what it will do is this number down here means the target count. What it's going to try and do is it's going to try and make it, this is in thousands, so try and make it 5,000 polys, and if you look up here, it end up making it 11,000. Well, that's total active points. Total, I don't know, but it makes it that many, right? So it's pretty close, I guess, but it's obviously not what I wanted. All right, so and the other problem is too is if you look, you see the topology on the face in particular is no good. The rest of it's fine. These all work fine, but you'll see my poly groups are all gone too, which kind of stinks. So we're going to do a couple of things to basically fix this. So I'm going to undo that and I'm going to Shift F again. The first thing I want to do is this. I'm going to go over here, and in order to kind of help it calculate how I want this to be, this isn't 100%, but again, it's sort of a freebie, so I'm not going to, we're going to draw some guide curves. So I'm going to hit B, and then you'll see down here there is ZRemesher guide. So down, oops, that, and then Z, and then we already have it, and then it's R. Okay, so that's what you want to do. So what we're going to do is I'll make this brush a lot smaller. It's not that it matters, it just makes it easier to see. And there's a couple of points I just need to be particular. So for one, I need this eyeball to be round. So I'm just going to go here, and I'm going to draw around, and I'm going to try and match, and go right to there. Okay, so hopefully that will do better if it connected. Let's go all the way around. There. Okay. So try to make it so that that matches, right? So that's fine. I could even do an more outer one just to really try and get it to try and do it for as long as possible. Boop. Okay. That's good. I kind of want the nose. I'm going to put perspective on so it's a little bit more natural. Kind of want this to have that nose hole. That's a circle. It's a little less important, to be honest, but whatever. The mouth is definitely important. So I'm just going to go from the center here and draw around and to there, and I'm going to do it also from the outside like this, like that. That's good. And maybe a jawline. I don't know how much this actually matters, but we'll just do that too. That's, oops, that got a little weird on the end there. Let's try this again. Okay. And the ear, it should mostly be good, but I'm just going to go ahead and make sure the ear is good. Okay. For the most part, that should work. Okay. Now, it's not going to be perfect. Now, if you have something else where, like, let's say you have a pocket and it's just losing it or something and you really want it to be, you can draw there too. The main places you really just need are on the face here. Okay. So now, if I hit, don't do this, I'm just showing you. If I hit ZRemesher, it's going to take this into account, and it's actually going to try and use that as a guide to, you know, it's not perfect. But it's definitely better than what it was. Okay, so if I hit Shift F, you can see the geometry is at least trying to follow it. All right, just didn't do a very good job here, so let's undo that. Okay, so we'll call that good. All right, so that's fine. The other thing I wanted to do, it's not great, but that's fine. The other thing I want to do is I want to keep my polygroups. So if you look over here, you'll see freeze groups and keep groups. Just turn on keep groups. What that's going to do is it's basically going to keep these. When we do the ZRemesher, it becomes one large group again. And I really want to keep them because it'll be helpful. And then I need to change my countdown here. So let's do kind of high. Let's do 10. It's sort of high, but and then we'll go ahead and I'm going to hit ZRemesh. Now you might need to do this a couple of times. You might want to save it. You might want to delete these, like test them out and see if they work well. If they're not giving you what you want, then you can go through and delete them and try them again. So you see, I actually did a lot better job on the face this time, minus that little weird nuck. And if we hit Shift F, you can see how these are different colors. So it kept my poly groups this time as well, which is also the other thing that I wanted. So upping the poly count allowed it to basically keep most of what I had there. This is why you want to not get too carried away with details, because you're going to lose most of what you modeled anyhow. All right. So that's it remeshed, and we basically are going to want to do that for the other items. So I'm just going to go up here, and I don't really even care about this, but go there, go to ZRemesh, geometry, ZRemesh. I'll make that considerably lower. Let's trade 1. Doesn't even need that, to be honest. And ZRemesh, and it'll ZRemesh it, and you can see it did a pretty okay job. It's definitely higher poly than it needs to be. So I would probably undo it, redo it, get something to be closer. You don't need to do the eyeballs. The eyeballs are fine as they are because they're just basic spheres. They already have geometry on them that is appropriate, so that's not that big of a deal. Another thing we could do, which I'm not going to do, but we could, is if I selected him, if you go to split, you could actually split masked and unmasked parts and such, so groups split, and that will actually split it into its various pieces. I'm not going to undo it. I'm not going to do it, though. Let's not do that now. But if we wanted to separate them, that could be helpful. But right now, I think it's still going to be more helpful to keep them together currently. Okay. But yeah, once you have that, now we have basically a complete model. It's one complete dude and or dudette, depending what you have. Shift F again to get it back. And yeah, so there you go. All right. So that's what you should basically have by the end of this week's lab. Good luck.